palms versus 3-by-1 spread formations, and palms versus 3-by-0, that's what I call it, which is these type of like tight end trips formations, trips tight ends, trip tight end flex. Anytime the tight end is close by himself and the other 3 receivers are on the other side. Putting this together in one video, because to me this is the most important time to play palms, and it really starts with the idea that you want to be able to cover 3 going vertical, okay, with a front side safety, a safety that's aligned to the same side. That's the main point of it. If you haven't watched my other videos, I would highly suggest to just go back and just refresh yourself, because at this point in time, if this is the first video you watch, I'm going to use terms that I've used in my older videos, and for the guys who are up to speed right now and are ready for this, they're going to hear terms that, I had used already, and I'm not going to take the time to explain everything again, because it will take about an hour to get through it, and I want this video to be in about 20 to 30 minutes. All right, so let's just start again with the idea of what we're trying to get done when we call certain defenses. Palms is a good defense versus 3-by-1 spread when teams are trying to run 3 vertical up down the field. Okay, they're trying to get the number 3 receiver to go vertical down the field. All right, and you want to free up your backside safety. Okay, so remember, in regular quarters, this player here, the backside safety, the one that's away from the receiver strength, would come over and check for 3, and if 3 is going down the field, if he's going vertically down the field, he will take him. Okay, but in this case, we want to user the safety, right? Or we want to play a completely different coverage on the backside. That's going to apply when we get to cover 6 and other type of coverages, but really cover 6 is the main one, where you want to run something different on the backside. Okay, and so now this allows you to double team with your backside safety. You can do different things. You can double team on one, you can user him, you could become a robber, you could do all types of fun stuff, right? So he's out of the picture. Okay, and so what this defense does is take care of the front side threat of 3 guys going deep with the rules that I'm about to explain to you. All right, so let's just start with the front side corner, the guy to the field, to the passing strength. He's a meg corner or number 1. Okay, wherever number 1 goes, he goes. Now the guys who are actually playing palms, okay, in this coverage and versus this formation is going to be the nickel and the strong safety. Okay, the nickel, his responsibility is similar to quarters. He's going to take first to the flat, all right, from 2 and 3. So whoever goes to the flat first, he's going to take that right now and match it as soon as he can. All right, if both guys go inside, you know the rule. If 3 goes inside and 2 goes inside, I'm going to match 2. I'm going to stay with 2. That's his rule. Okay, now if there's a scenario where nobody goes to the flat at all, okay, and 2 and 3 don't go vertical, he will just become a curl player. All right, but the thing that's different in this type of palms, his read that he's looking for essentially is if 3 goes down the field, all right, if he goes beyond 10 yards vertically, and if 2 goes beyond 10 yards, then I'm now going to match 2 and stay on top of 2. Okay, so that's the difference between any other coverage that is in the game, that the nickel can become a deep defender. He can become a defender similar to a safety or an outside corner, where he's going to run with the guy vertical. All right, now the strong safety here, his responsibility is 3 to 2. If 3 goes down the field vertical, he has him, he's going to take him. Okay, if 2 goes down the field vertical and 3 doesn't, he will now slide his eyes over to 2 and take him vertical. All right, so those are his rules. It's pretty simple. If nobody goes vertical, he can look to help out and rob 1. All right, the middle linebacker, he's still a 3 receiver wall player. Nothing's changed. The weak side quarter flat defender, he's still matching 2 when 3 is away, and by formation 3 is away, so he's going to match 2 wherever he goes. And here I like to actually just put him in man coverage on the running back. Can't do it right now. The backside safety in the Madden world, he's actually going to come over, and if you don't touch him and do anything, he's going to start his footwork towards number 3, just like he does in quarters when he gets that 3-by-1 check, the solo check. He'll come over and start to look like he's about to match 3, but he actually won't take them. All right, he just won't even take them at all. That's how he's programmed. So I would, if I'm playing this defense, do something special with him. Okay, if you want him just to stay in the middle of the field, that's fine. You can do that. He'll sit there, he'll read the quarterback almost like a robber. But I would do more. I would do, like I said to start the film, put him in man, user him, come down, cover a running back, do something, right? And get that extra help that you have available to you in this defense. In the backside corner, he's the solo corner. He's playing solo technique, which is Meg, man everywhere, number 1 goes. Okay, so that's how the defense works out. I'm actually just gonna kind of user the weak side safety and just let him sit there. I'm not gonna move him, but I want to show you the routes, how this is gonna match up. And if you see there, I must have put the nickel on an assignment, and I'm glad that happened. Actually, I'm gonna start the film. I wasn't planning on doing this, but sometimes, things happen by accident. That's a good teaching point. You see how if for some reason you are playing Palms defense and you decide to put your underneath coverage, you put your coverage in underneath coverage or over the top coverage, what that will do is change the assignments for the nickel, okay, and also your linebackers. And if you do that and you do get 2 and 3 vertical, there's a chance that 2 will be busted and he won't be covered. That's something that happens to a lot of people who play this coverage, and they don't understand why. They just basically leave the coverage alone, okay? Don't make any adjustments over the top, underneath shade. Those 2, okay, don't do it unless you know what the route is and you know it's going to be covered in a certain way, all right? So let's just get this done the right way. All right, I'm just going to run this. So the strong safety should take tight end. The nickel corner will stay with number 2 as they both go vertical. Let me make it even cleaner. I'm just gonna have these guys run straight up the field instead of kind of crossing over. And you see how the matchups work, right? So that's the base core of how Palms is different versus 3x1 to 2x2 and what the reads are that are happening. Okay, so let's just jump into some actual other plays that you might see. I kind of picked out some plays. There's some ones that are tough to cover, like the option play, shock H option. I'll come back to that one at the end. But let's just work through some of the easier ones, but versus plays that I've seen people run. Palms, all right. Here, this should be pretty straight up. The strong safety should take the tight end. The nickel is going to end up playing the pivot route, and the corner is going to take the dig route, right? So really 1 and 3 are running vertical type routes past 10 yards. Again, a vertical is past anything past 10 yards. I call it a vertical type of route. And on the backside, it's pretty simple. You just had that out route, that kind of C route over here, modified C route, right? And that corner is going to take them, and we're good there. And we got the match here on the running back, and we're sound, okay? But again, why do you run this defense? It really gives you nice ability to be able to feel safe that you are not going to get beat by the 3 eligible receivers going deep. And now you can see how that backside safety is highlighted. You can really now do some extra work here and kind of like take away something that might be a problem, or somebody's being predictable, or they have a really good player. So think about that. All right, let's look at Jet 6 drive. Again, this should be pretty straightforward. And then after this, we'll jump into the tray sets, the trio type sets. All right, but this is going to give you matches. If you can see it right off the bat, everybody should match up. Maybe the tight end won't get matched by the strong safety because he may not be over 10 yards. Okay, that's always a little bit of a funky spot. Remember, any route like a dig route that kind of is right at that 10 yard mark, sometimes the safety will cover it, sometimes he won't, right? But the linebacker should be walling that number 3, right? That's his guy who's running inside. He can't let anybody inside of him. Now the safety here, the nickel, all right, at this point, and I've noticed this, and we'll get back to it later on, the nickel's programmed that pretty much as soon as the tight end gets to about 5 yards and his shoulders are still square, in his mind, he's going to kind of translate that into the high potential. Most likely it's going to be a vertical route by the tight end or by number 3. So he's going to automatically transition to his palms technique and play number 2 if he goes vertical, which he does, okay? Now, I'll talk about this a little later as we go through some of the issues, but just backing up the defense, man, I think is a smart thing to do. In real life, I would do something similar. I would back up my nickel and really make sure he has time to read out what's happening between 2 and 3. Okay, I think that's kind of an important thing to do when it comes to this defense. All right, but let's go now to the 3-by-0 formation. I really want to talk about that, the trays, the trios, the things like that, because I think that really kind of helps you, because a lot of people love running these type of formations, and they really they want to get guys going deep. All right, and this kind of will help you be able to take away the deep guys and then take away some of the short guys too. Okay, all right, let's take a look at it. Not talking. Let's go with good old 4 vertical play, and we're gonna line up against good old. Now, just don't worry about the front right now. The bad thing, unfortunately, I probably should be. I don't have a playbook that has big nickel over G. That's kind of the front that I like to line up in. So I have to use the dime fronts that are in the book. I'm just going to use 2-3 dime. Not the best alignment you get with your nickels and with your weak side linebacker. He aligns way out of the box. So just bear with me here. I'm talking more coverage, and then we can find some other formations that give you better alignments with your players in the box. Okay, but again, we have 3 receivers to the left. You have 1 tight end to the right. So I call this not a 3-by-1, even though it technically is. I call it 3-by-0. 0 just meaning like the guy in the backside is aligned tighter than usual. That's the terminology that we would use, the teams that I've worked for. But in this case, it's still in the 3-by-1 category. It's just that now on the left side of the screen, you are getting your 3 receivers, okay? So what do you get? You get your corner. He's going to be playing Meg corner on the outside on number 1 receiver. You get your nickel and you get your free safety. These are your 2 Palms players that are making the exact same reads we just went over in the last formation. You get your linebacker, who's your 3 receiver hook player, walling anybody that's coming inside, the first guy coming inside. All right. Then you have on the right side against this formation, if you watch the older videos, I won't go through it, you're going to have a cone on the tight end, which is basically an inside-outside bracket. If he goes inside, the safety will take him. If he goes outside, the corner will take him. Okay. And then you have your quarter flat defender, who is what? He's basically matching 2 and 3's away. 3's aligned away. He's matching 2. In this game, I would honestly just put him in coverage on I would just man him up on the running back. Okay. So in this defense, again, I would probably user this player, right? Looking to help out on routes to the front side. It doesn't matter. Look to help out where needed, and we'll talk more about that as we go. And I kind of have a tendency. I love to just man up the tight end with the receiver, with the corner. Knowing that he's probably going to run either a corner route or he's going to run a shallow. And if he runs a shallow, even if the corner's aligned here, he's fast enough to chase him down and make a tackle and make it a 5-yard gain. Okay, so that the defense is not going to give him a big gain that way. All right, let me go back on the safety. So since he's the joker, he's the free player, he can just be there. But now you should get your matches that we talked about. You can see the nickel, you can see the free safety. Everybody's matching up similar to what we had with the 4 vertical play in the last formation. All right, so again, we'll go a little faster because you guys know this by now, but everything is good. Everything is good. Nickel's taking 2 goes vertical, 3 goes vertical, and 2 goes vertical. I stay with 2. That's his read. Okay, so let's go to some other plays that are popular, that, you know, traditionally popular. Double in sales, a popular play. You're going to see that come up, especially in the red zone a lot. So there, right? Again, this player here, I don't like this alignment, so it doesn't really matter. I will say this though, these 2 players, even if I don't put them in man coverage on 2 and 1, this is a route that they really will take care of very easily. Okay, this linebacker, he will just match. I'm calling it a linebacker, I know it's a DB, but he's playing the linebacker position. He's going to match the running back to the flat easy, and then the corner, he's already in great position to cover the corner route by the tight end. So we're really good there. Okay, now on the front side, I'm just going to let the play run and we can talk through it, but it's only 1 guy going deep, 2 guys going short. So it's going to be a pretty easy match. And there is one slight adjustment that I've noticed compared to last year, okay? So the free safety, right, back there, he's playing anything of 3. If he goes vertical, I take it. He does, right? He runs a corner over 10 yards, he takes it, okay? The nickel, all right? I'm going to come back to him. The corner, he's a meg corner. He's just playing any route of 1. He's going to take it. Poor technique with the spin move there, but he's going to take 1. Now the nickel over here, right? He's reading 3, 2. Is 3 going vertical? Yes. Is 2 going vertical? He's not sure. That's why he's backing up. No, he's not. All right. So now technically when 2's not going vertical, if he was working outside, he would just take him in a quarter flat and just match him because it's an out route. If he works inside, he technically in the real life world doesn't need to run with this guy. All right, he doesn't need to run with them because as a middle linebacker, that's a wall player. But you see how the middle linebacker, for some reason, versus this combination, he's actually going the opposite way, which is not correct. So he's not there to help out on the underneath route by 2. So for some reason, the game programs the nickel to just stay on 2. Now, when you play this defense, right, this should be your best player, the nickel. He should be your fastest player. He should probably be your best DB. Because of the vertical route, he needs to be able to stay with that. He needs to be fast to stay with 2, and he needs to read things quickly as well. So since that's the case, I never use this guy, and the computer does take care of this specific route, which is a popular play, right? 3 runs a corner, 2 runs it in. He's going to pretty much stay on 2. So you're covered. But however, in real life, that linebacker should push out to the new number 3, and that corner, that nickel, should just become a curl player, and he can basically help out on number 1. But I think this is the way they program this. He's just going to grab him and take him. Not sure why they did that. That's different than last year, but it doesn't break the defense, and you're in good shape, okay? If I ran the shallows X dig, just trust me, all the matches are good, right? All those 3, bottom right-hand side of the screen is what I'm talking about right now. All 3 of those guys are running vertical type routes. You got 2 crossing routes. You got a deep dig. It's going to be taken by the corner, the nickel, the free safety, and then the tight end is going to be taken by either however you decide to play that cone technique. If you want the safety to play it, the strong safety, or you want to lock that corner on him and let him play a solo on the outside. Now, let me take a look at, and again, I drew up I have a lot of routes here right now in this initial part of this video, just to show the basic difference between how Palms plays and really how Quarters plays versus the same look and what the advantages are. All right, so I think we're pretty much good there. I don't see any other plays that we need to talk about right now. I'm going to jump back over to 3x1 and talk a little bit about what's going on with the nickel and his read versus a fade route, okay? Because I noticed that is a little bit different. This has changed over the years, okay? So back in the day, if you ever ran this route on offense, it would just be wide open. The fade would be wide open because the nickel and the safety, they didn't know who to take. And it really kind of stems from, now that I've kind of played the play a couple times, the tight end running that stick route at 5 yards. It seems like the game is not programmed so that, okay, is he running a deep route past 10, and once he gets to close to 10, that's when we're going to make the decision. It's really set up so that as soon as I have my controller on him, as soon as the tight end gets to about 5 yards, the nickel is treating it like, if his shoulders are still square at 5, I'm going to now run with 2. If I'm going to treat that like a vertical, and I'm going to go with 2 if he goes vertical. I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to match him, okay? So that's what's happening a lot. So this route right here used to be wide open, but they reprogrammed it so that you wouldn't get a blown coverage. Let me get off the safety. And you would actually have too many guys covering this guy deep. So watch how the nickel's going to cover the fade, and the safety's going to cover the fade as well. Now, this is why I said your nickel needs to either be pushed back, you need to back him up a little bit, or you need to have a really fast player. But let me just show you their footwork and their technique, how it's flawed, and you just have to be aware of that. That's why you got to have a guy who can run that can overcompensate some of this stuff. But again, look at the nickel. Fine, he's just shuffling, he's waiting. Okay, he does get the best job that he can, but that route is really tough with that much space. I mean, that's asking a lot. So you need to have a guy that's really fast and or back off the guy. But look at the safety here, right? He's kind of shuffling over, getting ready to play the tight end. See, tight end's about 4 to 5 yards, and then he realizes, oh wait, he's not going vertical. but 2 is. I need to get back over there. My rules say I take 3 vertical if he goes vertical. If he doesn't, I'll take 2 vertical if he goes vertical. So he now comes back over and tries to get back to that fade route, and it's a little bit late. So this is just a warning that if I was to play this defense and don't make it a dead giveaway, I would really just heavily consider backing guys up, right? Just backing up the whole defense. That's one way of doing it. And I haven't even done it myself when I play games so far, but I'm going to start doing that some more, even in some other defenses, just to kind of disguise it. But I think that'll give you a little bit more time that this safety and this nickel would be able to at least be there. It would have to be a perfect throw, a perfect free-form pass to kind of beat you on that play. But that is one of the weaknesses of the play, all right? Now, let me jump over to one of the 3x0 formations and just talk through how it can affect you there. All right, so now there is a play in here. I'm not gonna, talk about it right now, that will potentially break the coverage, but that's only one play I've seen out of a bunch that will potentially break the coverage. I won't even talk about it. I'm sure you can go to some paid website and find out about it, but I want to just show this route here, okay? What happens on this play is that because the wheel route is being programmed by the logic that anytime in a match defense, you are a flat defender. If you get a wheel, you will match it as a flat defender. And I'll say it again. So as I go through the replay here, right, we're focused on the nickel. The nickel, right, he's reading first to the flat. That's his first read. So anytime somebody goes to the flat first, he's going to take it. And when I say first to the flat, closest guy to him. So number 2 goes to the flat like he is right here. Honestly, I got him, right? So he has to take him. But any match defense that's 3 seam, we haven't talked about that. That's quarters, that's palms, right? Cover 6, cover 9. If you are a flat defender, if the word flat is in your description, so that's quarter flat, that's seam flat, that's just good old whatever it is. Technically, I don't think cloud flats would do it, but if you are a soft squat flat player, right? I know it's called soft squat, but it's still a flat player. Anytime you get somebody running out and then they turn it up the field, the rule is to match that guy and continue to take him up the field. So that's the rule that's happening right here with the nickel. He's taking that guy to the flat and then he's working up the field. So that's why he's there. The safety is looking at this like, okay, well, 3 is not vertical, 2 is not vertical. I don't have any work. Oh, you know what? 2's running up the field. I'm just going to go help out on that guy and help out with that late vertical, even though technically it's not a true down the field, straight up off the line of scrimmage, go, right? It's more of an out and up. But the game is trying to, I think, really take away that whole confusion of, is it a vertical? Is it an out and up? Is it a fade route? Any type of outside release? If the guy, his final destination is down the field past 10 yards, they're going to just lock it up. So I think that's what that safety is doing there. So just realize in that play, you can get 2 guys covering that wheel route, and I'll stop it there because there are other things that you can do and you can be creative and try to make things up, and I'm not here to talk about that. But overall, this defense gives you a lot of flexibility, and I love it versus this type of formation. I should have probably ran I should have ran big nickel G. Big nickel G lines up a lot better with the linebackers in the box to kind of stop the run. But I like it on 3rd and long. I like it in pretty much 3rd medium, kind of like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I want to take away something with that backside safety, I want to use the backside safety and really take care of a route manually. I'll jump into this to protect myself that I won't get beat vertically on the other side. So that's just something to have. So it's kind of like a compliment to have that quarters coverage, because quarters coverage involved the backside safety. This doesn't. All right. And then from a disguise standpoint, it looks like cover 0. It looks like cover 1. And people are going to assume that. So they might start to run combinations to beat you to that side in cover 1, cover 0. And depending on the combination that they come up with, you can potentially get interception because you're really not in true man coverage. You're in match coverage. Okay. So we're in the video there. I think that's a good way to end it. This coverage is powerful. And remember, it is only against spread 3x1. So anytime you get 3 receivers it doesn't have to be a true remove from the core. You can have one tight end in line and two receivers outside of him, like I showed in wide trips week. All right, but it works in all these type of coverages. If you do get a bunch, the bunch rules come back into play. They will play box. They will not play palms. They would just go back to their quarters, bunch rules, and play box. Okay, so I just wanted to show that. If you have any questions, concerns, want me to do something a little bit more detail, just hit me up. I'll respond as soon as I can, and we'll go from there. The next video is going to be on empty and how palms works against empty, which is, just so you know, that's pretty much my first check versus empty is palms, because it covers me in not getting beat deep and allows me freedom to do things, some things underneath with the linebacker. All right, I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace.